for pre-need, funerals, burials, or cremation since 1975. It's Curtis & Son Funeral Home, Sylacauga, Childersburg. Douglas Lamar Chipper Powell Jr., age 66 of Sylacauga, died February the 2nd in Smyrna, Tennessee. A memorial service will be held at a later date. Mr. Powell was a native of Sylacauga and a supervisor at Madex. Online condolences at curtisonfh.com. Curtis & Son Funeral Home, North Chapel in Sylacauga, in charge of the arrangements. In other obituary news this morning, funeral service for Sarah Mae Fry, age 78 of Childersburg, will be today at the Childersburg Chapel of Curtis & Son Funeral Home. Visitation from noon until 2, and the service at 2 with interment in the Green Hill Memorial Gardens of Childersburg. Ms. Fry died February the 2nd. Curtis & Son Funeral Home, Childersburg Chapel, in charge of the arrangements. Patsy Hammond's funeral service for Patsy will be held today at Curtis & Son North. Online condolences at curtisonfh.com. Curtis & Son Funeral Home, North Chapel, directing. And Ms. Norma Spates died at her residence on Sunday in Harpersville. Curtis & Son Funeral Home, Childersburg Chapel, announcing. Graveside service for Ernestine Cook will be today at 1 o'clock from Africa Missionary Baptist Church Cemetery in Talladega. And Community Funeral Home in Sylacauga, in charge of the arrangements. Funeral service for Mrs. Frances Mask McDaniel Grigsby, age 84, is today at 11 o'clock from Woods Presbyterian Church with Minister Chris Tidwell officiating. Burial in the Woods Presbyterian Cemetery. The family will receive friends this morning at the church from 10 until 10:45. Ms. Grigsby died Friday, February 5th at Chapman Healthcare Center. She was a member of the Woods Presbyterian Church. Flowers will be accepted or memorial contribution can be given to Woods Presbyterian Church Cemetery Fund. Langley Funeral Home in Dadeville directing. Graveside service for Mrs. Lula Pearl Bailey, formerly of Alexander City. That service will be Tuesday at New Life Memorial Gardens beginning at 2 p.m. Public viewing is today from 4 until 6 at the funeral home. Wright's Funeral Home, Alexander City directing. Funeral services and arrangements for Mr. Willie Jemison, age 68 of Talladega. Those arrangements will be announced today by S.M. Goodson Funeral Home and Crematory in Talladega. Funeral service for George Harold Justice Sr., age 85 of Sylacauga, will be today at 2 o'clock from the Chapel of Radley Smith Funeral Home with Reverend James Beam officiating. Burial in the Tallahatchie Cemetery in Alpine. Mr. Justice died February 4th at his residence. Radley Smith Funeral Home in Sylacauga, in charge of the arrangements. And Michael Dean, age 69 of Sylacauga, died Saturday at his residence. Funeral arrangements to be announced by Radley Smith Funeral Home in Sylacauga. This obituary report this morning brought to you by Curtis & Son Funeral Home, the North Chapel on Highway 21 in Sylacauga, and the Childersburg Chapel on Highway 280 in Childersburg for pre-need, funerals, burials, or cremation since 1975. Curtis & Son Funeral Home, Sylacauga, Childersburg.